Hey guys, so today I'm here with the ZRoadz 50 to 52 inch light bar and 4 3-inch cube light roof level mounting brackets fitting all 2018 and newer JL Wranglers. So if you're looking to add some accessory lighting on the front of your JL for better visibility on dark back roads as well as dark trails, you are going to need mounting brackets in order to install those lights. So this option by ZRoadz is going to be a really good one to take a look into. So this is going to accommodate a 50 to 52 inch light bar up top, giving you a little bit of flexibility in what size you're looking to run, and it's going to accommodate those 4 3-inch cube lights down at the bottom of your A-pillar for a great location for some really good visibility. So I would like to mention that these are going to come with just the brackets by themselves, and they are not going to include any accessory lighting. I do like that because you are getting the option on what lights you're looking to mount up on your Wrangler, giving you some extra flexibility in your build. However, if you were looking for a full package with all of the accessory lighting included, we do also offer that option by ZRoadz on the page. Now these are going to feature a very strong build with a laser cut steel construction, giving them some extra durability, and they also are going to have a gloss black powder coat finish on them, obviously protecting that steel underneath from any rusting, but what it's also going to do is add a sleek look to the mounting brackets and the JL itself. So as far as price goes, these are going to be roughly $325, making them a more expensive choice when it comes to light mounting brackets, but I personally think for the quality as well as the features that this includes, that price point is justified. So in comparison to some other cost-effective choices on the page, this is just going to offer a little bit more as far as light mounting locations go, as well as the thought put behind the build. So this comes with everything that you need to install. You do get gaskets on the back of here to preserve your paint, make sure you're not damaging or scuffing up your paint. You also are getting spacers to accommodate for that extra space that gasket took up. And what I do like about this as well is because of that extra space, you are able to hide your wiring harness behind here. This was designed to do that, making a very clean look overall for your accessory lighting on the front of your JL. Not to mention, this is going to come with a lifetime warranty on the product to keep a peace of mind in your investment. Now, install is going to be a very easy 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. Just the brackets are going to take you about 30 minutes to install. However, that time will increase if you are looking to mount up lights with these brackets, which I assume that you're going to do. So you're going to need a couple of basic hand tools to get the job done. So speaking of the install, let's jump into that now. The tools that I used for my install were an impact wrench, a 3/8 inch drive and 1/4 inch drive ratchet, a T40 Torx bit, a 4mm, 5mm, and 3mm Allen key, and a 3/8 inch socket. So before we can go ahead and install our brackets on our Wrangler, we do have to prep them first. So we have a couple of gaskets here to protect the paint on our Wrangler, and then we also have some backplating for our logos up at the top. So you're gonna need a 3/8 inch socket as well as a 3mm Allen key to get the job done. So what I'm going to do is start with our bottom gasket. Now this is going to be side specific, so I would recommend to just line it up, make sure it's on the correct side. Then we can peel the sticky backing on the back of our gasket. Go ahead and put that into place. Make sure it's flush and lining up with all of the holes. That we can just press it down. And this is just going to protect our paint once again. So after that bottom one is on, we can move to the smaller gaskets up on the top. So we're going to put 2 down here, and then we're going to put another 2 up at the top. So same thing, peel that backing off. These are going to be pretty thick, providing a little bit of space. So this is actually designed to route your wire from your 50-inch light bar down behind here. So what we're going to see, these are a little bit thicker. What we're going to do is provide a spacer down at the bottom when we bolt this up as well. So everything sits pretty flush. So now we can install our backplating for our logo here. So we're going to line it up with the 4 holes. You may have to flip it over if it's not lining up. Then we're going to take our small button head bolt, put that down underneath and through. You want to make sure that the bottom of the bolt is facing inward and the head of the bolt is facing outward. And we can take our hardware and secure that down. Now I'm not going to tighten that down just yet. I want to get the other bolts in, line them up first. Now you don't have to do this part if you don't want to, but these are provided just to give a little bit of extra style to the brackets. So after they're all in there, we can just make sure that they're tightened down. Then I'm gonna grab my 3mm Allen key and my 3/8" socket, and then we can tighten this down. Now it doesn't have to be too tight, we just wanna make sure that this back plate is not gonna go anywhere. All right, now we can do the same thing for the other side. All right, so once those are tightened down and this other bracket is prepped, we can move over to the Jeep and start installing these. So now that we're over at the Jeep, we do have to remove our cowl cover. It is gonna be 4 bolts. You're gonna need a T40 Torx bit in order to remove them. So we need to remove the 4 bolts that are holding in our cowl. Again, I'm using a T40 Torx bit. Now we're gonna be replacing these bolts with spacers and bolts provided. So at this point, when you have all of the hardware out, if you are wiring up lights, you will need to take this cowl cover off. All you have to do is just slide it out of place. Then you have access to wire all of your light wires and your light wiring harness through the foam piece into the engine bay. So I would recommend to do that if you are installing your lights. However, we are not installing lights for this install. So I'm gonna pop this back on and we're gonna go ahead and install our spacers. So what we need to do is drop our spacers down in. Now our factory bolt is tapered, so we will need this. And then we can add the top spacer. Now we're just gonna place those on there before we go ahead and bolt up our bracket. So now we can grab our bracket and our hardware and go ahead and bolt that up. So our smaller spacers are for the top bolts, and then we have our larger spacers for our side bolts here. Now we are gonna line up our bracket, but we want to pop these spacers into place before we go ahead and put in our hardware. Now this is kind of gonna be a juggling act because gravity is not on your side, but once those spacers are in place, you can lay the bracket down. Then our smaller and longer hardware is gonna go up onto the top bolts. We need to line everything up. So our longer hardware is gonna be up top. You do have to line everything up. Now that our top hardware is in place, I don't have them threaded in at the moment, but we can take our larger hardware and thread that into the side. So once you have those hand threaded, you're gonna take a 4mm Allen key. I'm using a Allen socket, and we're gonna go ahead and tighten these top bolts down. I wouldn't recommend using an impact on these. You don't want to strip the threads and you don't want to strip the head of the bolt. All right, so once you have those top bolts tightened down, we can move down to the bottom bolts. So now for these bottom bolts, I'm going to be using a 5mm Allen key. You can go ahead and tighten those up. right, after those are tightened up, we can do the same thing on the other side. Now, in order to slide this off on the passenger side, you will need to remove your antenna. You can use a 3/8 inch wrench in order to get this off, or you can just twist it off if it is hand tight. However, since we are not installing any lights, we don't have to route any wires, I'm gonna leave this on and we can install our bracket. All right, so after all your brackets are tightened down, all you have to do is mount up your accessory lighting and then you're all set to go. So that's gonna wrap it up for my review and install. Make sure you like and subscribe, and for more videos like this, always keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.